Hi. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, my name is Tabitha. This is Channeled Wellness. And I obviously have ADHD and have to multitask at every single thing that I do. So that could be a feature of today's reading. You could have ADHD as well. Okay, or you could just be in the neurospicy genre, as I like to say. Okay. um, yeah, we're gonna get into it. This, I don't know, this is significant for someone. This is a piece of blue kyanite that I have. Okay, yeah. Someone may need to get some blue kyanite. You may be feeling called to work with it. It is a little bit fragile in the way of a gemstone, so that could be significant as well. We're going to pull a message from the heart of the divine. Yeah, we're going to start with this, and then we will dig deeper into it. Before I begin that, though, let's start with our opening prayer. I take this moment to become fully present. I ground myself into the earth beneath me and open my awareness to the wisdom that exists beyond what I can see. I invite only the highest expressions of truth, love, and wisdom and compassion to be present in this space. May every message that comes through serve the highest good of everyone involved. May what is shared bring clarity, healing, empowerment, and peace. I release the need to force, prove, or control anything. I simply become a clear and willing channel. May my intuition remain strong, my discernment remain clear, and my heart remain open. I ask that all information be received be I ask that all information received be aligned with truth and offered with integrity, humility, and respect. This space is now dedicated to healing, insight, and the highest good. And so it is. Okay. And just like that, let's dig into it. Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today? I hope that everyone is having an absolutely wonderful, fantabulous day. Hmm. I'm seeing the words quantum leap. Hmm. Inspired action coming out. Okay. Let's read this message. This is 26. That number could be significant. All right. Big leaps are asked of us in order to align with those big visions and dreams brewing within. Unless we get to work and take action on the vision, grounding dreams into the material plane, our desires may never come to fruition. It can be scary to leap outside your comfort zone and into your wildest dreams. Write that book you've been dreaming of, start a business on your own, create a platform to share your truth, move to a new city your soul is calling you to, change careers, or simply show up in the world with a liberated, sensitive heart. This card is coming to you today with the message that you are ready to align with your dreams, the big inspirations and callings lighting a flame within your heart, and to receive the abundance that follows. In order for this path of desire to widen, you have work to do. What is brewing within is brewing for a reason. All you need to do is take action. This card is a reminder to let go of any procrastination and step into inspired action with courage and strength. Don't be afraid, bright soul. Your guidance will lead you along the way. The time is now. Ooh, I feel like that's Confirmation. That's our title. That's our title. The time is now. Oh, I need to write that down. Because, yes, if I don't write things down, guys, I totally forget it as soon as I say it. And that's the energy, right? The time is now. Just like I have to take a moment right now to write down the title of this message. The time is now. There's an importance to not procrastinating on something. You're at an inflection point, I'm hearing spirit say. Okay, there is a very an importance, but also a potency to not 555 on the timer, not waiting to do something. You're making an effectual change on the world by changing yourself, I'm hearing. Okay. This is good. This is really good. Okay, Wednesday wanted to come through. This is the Wednesday Adams deck, Oracle deck. The time is now. Ooh. That feels so aligned and just grounded in my system when I say it out loud. Like, the time is now. Yeah. There's also something about like witchy type of things because we're also working with the Agatha all along deck here. So something about movies, horror movies could be not horror, not really horror, but like like the category of the like the weird, witchy, weird, woo woo type of category of movies. Yeah, not horror at all. Spirit was like, don't scare them. Not horror. That's not what I meant. Okay. Let's get into this. Spirit, what does the collective need to know about the time is now? Okay, sorry guys. I'm listening to Spirit. I had to take a second. Okay. What does the collective need to know about the time is now, Spirit? That's one. Mm. And that's precisely the energy too. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Okay. First card coming out is the troubled artist. Okay. And when I say that this is precisely the energy, this is what I mean. Okay. There's an element of a bit of horror here, right? But it's the things within you. It's not something to be afraid of. You see how the man is blended with an elephant here, it looks like. It's like the things within you, the darker parts of the self. I heard the id could have something to do with the id in psychology. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the things, and even like these spooky things. See, there's like an element of spookiness to it, but it's not really spooky. It's just taboo. It's just things that we avoid because people generally are like uncomfortable with them, but they're not really spooky scary. You know what I mean? That's the energy anyway. Okay, also coming out, we have friendship and unfinished business that came out together. Okay? Yeah. This makes a lot of sense. There's a bunch of spider webs on the back of these cards. They're really sticking out to me here. It's the interconnectedness. I feel like I feel like you could have developed a strong friendship with the things that trouble you or these like taboo topics, right? The things that are, they kind of live on the edge of society, right? Creeping in the shadows. That's really the feeling that I'm getting. And I feel like you could have left these parts of you behind. So many of my readings lately have been about just learning to accept yourself, right? Because of the expectations that are put on us by ourselves, by society, by our families, you know what I'm saying? There's so much that's not necessarily perceived as the right way to do things, the quote unquote right way to do things, right? Spirit's taking me back to my own journey and how I discovered that I was a medium. I've always seen spirits, but I never really said anything to anyone about the fact that I could see spirits until one day my deceased brother visited me and told me straight up, he was like, Tabitha, you're a medium. That's why I'm coming to see you. You're a medium, and I need you to help our family. And it's like the exact thing that kind of ailed me, the thing that, kept me in this position of, I can't really let that cat out of the box because it's not perceived well, by others. It's not something, especially coming from a Christian background. Oh my gosh. The fact that I'm a medium is very frowned upon. But I had to come to terms with the fact that I was born this way, and the fact that if I was created with this gift and this ability, then it had to serve a purpose, right? I just heard a clip right before am recording this of Bashar speaking about how if there's a coin and it has a head, then it must also have a tail because you can't separate the two. And he was likening it to having a gift and saying that if you have a gift, then there's someone who needs to receive the gift. And of course, I've moved into this space of allowing you guys to receive my gift, helping people in this way, being serving as a bridge between worlds in this way. But it troubled me for a very long time. And I think that's what the troubled artist is about. Because so many times, I mean, how many times do we hear about people who have these gifts musically, especially, I feel like is the main one, but with music and art, and they go through these horrible things, or they end up, you know, themselves, because they are tortured. The tortured artist is, it's a well-known archetype, but I feel like this is you when we're saying the time is now, this unfinished business. See, spirit wants you to go back to the friendship that you developed with whatever this is that troubled you. I feel like this I'm getting the sense that you're almost like frenemies with your gift, right? This is your gift is a friend to you, but also it's not. Somebody said like Regina George. Ooh, Mean Girls. Okay. There's something really significant about movies here. Movies, artwork, the arts in general. Okay. But yeah, there's a way in which it's like your gifts are almost your frenemy is, but spirit wants you to go back to this because you're not done yet, right? The lovers at the bottom of the deck, spirit wants you to go back to this to develop a real relationship with these gifts that you have. You've kind of shunned them, spirit saying. Yeah, strength. What is this that fell in my lap? The Queen of Wands. Exactly. Exactly. These things, right? The tower, you're avoiding these because of the potential tower that comes along with them, right? Because, oh my God, if people knew, if I put myself out there in that way, if 15 on the timer, if I put myself out there in that way, and if people knew, and it's just this round and round and round, I'm seeing a circle of just these thoughts that are just unsettling. And the truth is that it's not your gift that causes this tower. In fact, it's much the opposite. It's these thoughts that cause the tower. And yeah, there may be people that don't like your gifts and don't accept your gifts for what they are, but they're not your people, And maybe they are your people. Maybe they're your family, right? But I know it's easier said than done, but even if it's your family, even if it's the people that's closest to you, I mean, who is closer to you than you are? Is it really worth denying yourself of being yourself, of this gift that you were blessed with, that God blessed you with, in order to please someone else who the spirit is saying is unhappy living their own life? Come on now, collective. Surely we can do better than that. Spirit just keeps coming back to releasing these expectations. There's expectations that you've put on yourself, that other people have put on you, that you've put on your manifestations, I'm hearing. And Spirit wants you to release those expectations because the expectations are keeping you bound. Spirit, is there anything else for the collective? And I'm sorry for licking my finger, but nobody else touches these cards but me, okay? Because I feel somebody's spirit. These are my cards, and it's okay if they have a little bit of my DNA on them because they're my magic, okay? Temperance is here. Hmm. Hmm. This pentagon is very striking. A pentagon with a pentacle. There's a lot about fives here. Fives are about change. The Pentagon is, oh, that's so deep, Spirit. Thank you. The Pentagon, here in America, we have a building called the Pentagon, and this building is associated with being a fortress, right? This is a military structure. It's associated with the safety of the country, right? But also, this Pentagon here is trapping someone. It's trapping you, not someone. It's you. Don't dissociate. That's what, it's not good to dissociate, okay? You are you. It's because these exact things that you've created, it's like you created this, I want to call it a box, but it's a pentagon. It's in the shape of a pentagon, right? You created this structure to protect yourself, to protect other people from being able to see the real you, from being able to know you as you are here, right? But in doing so, you trapped yourself, right? The Four of Pentacles, holding yourself back. The locket. What was the story of Agatha's locket? There's a train. It's about the past. Agatha's locket had a lock of hair in it, and I think at the end we figured out, oh, spoiler alerts. If you are planning on watching Agatha All Along, I'm about to spoil something for you. Which Agatha All Along was a great show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Even if you listen to this spoiler, it's still great. But at the end of the show, we figured out that the thing inside the locket was a lock of her son's hair. Was it a lock of her son's hair or her hair? It was somebody, I think it was her son's hair. And she kept it there to preserve the memory. She had a fondness. And the outside of the locket was the coven that she belonged to with her mother, which she also had a very complicated relationship with. But she held on to that. And I feel like it's the exact same for you with this relationship that you have with your gifts. It's very complicated, it's a bit convoluted, and you're holding on to them and holding them back, keeping them to yourself instead of sharing them. Because if you share it, then you have to face it. Yeah, you got to face it. You have to face yourself. And facing yourself may mean that you have to face some of the people around you who do not have the best intentions for you. The Eight of Cups coming out here. You might have to walk away from some of the relationships, some of the friendships, you know. Facing that aspect would mean understanding who is really in your corner. And that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. Mm. There's a lot of activity around your heart chakra. Okay. As I said that and spoke what it actually is, I felt some of the pressure release. Okay. Unconditional, true love is unconditional love. And unconditional love does not look like someone telling you that you have to check certain boxes or be a certain something in order for them to care about you. That's not love. And that's something that you will have to come to terms with if you embrace your gifts, if you rebuild your friendship with your gifts and continue this unfinished business. Okay. It's a beautiful thing, though, you know, because what I found in my personal life is that as I have elevated, there have been people that either have elevated with me or that we've grown apart, you know, and sometimes they fade out easily, and sometimes, it's a bit more difficult for them to go off the scene. But ultimately, if a person is not in alignment with you, then they cannot be in your vicinity, right? They're not going to be in your world in the same capacity that they've been once you vibrationally outgrow them. And that is some of the fear that's wrapped up here, because there are people in your life that you know that you will have to leave behind if it comes down to you actually embracing your most authentic self, right? Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. It's not easy to let go of people, especially people with certain titles, right? That's my mom, that's my dad, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my child, that's my friend. I thought this relationship was supposed to go like that. I put this relationship, in an important, this relationship had importance in my life. Sometimes we have to come to terms with those things. Confirmation. Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, you have two choices, right? You can live your life being willfully ignorant, continuing to deal with people that you probably already know are not in alignment with where you want to be and where you aspire to be, but also where you should be based on your gifts, right? And I hate to use the word should, because should is such a loaded thing. It's not really a matter of should. Maybe I shouldn't say should. But right, if you embraced your gifts and if you fully embraced your gifts, what would that mean? What would that look like? What who would be around you? Who do you see around you if you embrace your gifts fully? Who do you see not being around you? You know what I mean? What would that mean for your life? And are these people that you're holding on to, are they worth holding on to? Right? Because if you're holding on to them, it means that you are forcing yourself to be in vibrational alignment to these people. That's a tough one too, right? Because if I know that my mom is a person who is always, very negative, and she's always talking bad about people, or she has this negative outlook on life, she's bitter, or any of those things, right? If I engage in those activities with her, then I'm negative and bitter and have a negative outlook on life as well, right? And if I don't, then that's still my mother, but that's not who I am, right? Birds of a feather flock together. I find it so funny how we use these idioms all the time, and a lot of times we don't even think about what they really mean. Or at least I don't. I don't know about you, but I don't. It took me a long time to realize, like, oh yeah, birds of a feather flock together. Like, yeah, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Yeah, everyone that you surround yourself with is a reflection of you, babe. That's true. So, what are your reflections saying to you? What do they say about you? If you step outside of yourself, right, and you use the observer effect on your life, what does your life say about you right now in this moment? And what do you want your life to say about you? I feel like these are existential questions. They're questions worth answering. This is part of doing shadow work. Shadow work is so important. And shadow work is not just about facing your past, it's about facing your now and facing your future. Shadow work is everything. It's about doing what it takes to keep ourselves in check, to keep ourselves in balance, right? It's very important. And I feel like, yeah, the time is now. Spirit, do we have another message for the collective? Okay, hang tight. Let me grab another deck. Okay, I am back. This is the Wild Unknown archetype deck. Okay, Spirit. Oh, you want me to shuffle? Okay. What's the closing message for the collective? I knew that was going to be the one. I saw it when I was shuffling the deck, and I had a feeling that that was it. The unseen. The unseen is the shadow, right? It's the subconscious. These subconscious patterns, right? This is what I don't know if you saw my other message, but putting your eye on something in the dark, that's what we're doing here. The unseen, doing the shadow work. Let's read the description from the book. This is 27. Didn't we get 26 earlier? So from 26 to 27, it feels like we're making progress. 27 is about learning lessons. Okay. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence. That's that's yeah. That's how it is, right? When we're wounded, when we have these things that we refuse to look at, you know, we know that they're there. We know that our shadows come up from time to time. We know that there's wisdom in facing these shadows. And like sometimes we do, but like healing is never done, right? You always have to choose to be your most authentic self in every moment. It's not a one and done. Oh, I'm going to make this one decision and now I'm living as my most authentic self. It doesn't work like that. It's a consistent series of choices. Yeah. And a lot of times, stuff will come up and sometimes we'll pay attention to it and sometimes we won't because sometimes we just don't feel like it, you know? And that's exactly what they're talking about, doubting its existence. Sometimes we get this silly notion that we're done healing. Oh, I've dealt with that. That's not a problem anymore for me. That's not true. It may not be a problem in the same way, but it's still once it's a problem, it's always a problem. It's and maybe a problem is not the best way to frame it. Maybe once it's a situation, it's always a situation, or once it's an issue, it's always worth a look. Maybe a better way of framing it, because problem is not the right word. Okay. And then something else too. A lot of times the things that we perceive to be our shadows are the very things where we're gifted. Like that's where we're gifted at. Like I had for the longest time a problem with death and dead things. Do you know that Spirit 3333 on the timer? Spirit made me overcome that by moving dead animals out of the road. Spirit had me to go pull over on the side of the road and move dead animals out of the road and touch them and move them and be okay with it in order for me to help integrate my gifts because I was afraid of death. Not so much death like my own death, because I've always known that that isn't the end, but more so like dealing with dead things. Okay, let's finish this up. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence, though it rallies our attention time and time again. The energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision, or a message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen, the sounds may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. You are standing at a threshold and you're being invited in. It's so beautiful. Yeah. This is a threshold of authenticity. It's within you. All right. That's the message. I'm going to go ahead and close out now. What is yours returns to you. What is mine remains with me. May what has been revealed be met with clarity. With gratitude, I now bring this session to a close. Thank you for every insight, every lesson, and every moment of connection that served the highest good. I now lovingly release every energy, emotion, message, and connection that does not belong to me. May all energy return peacefully and completely to its own rightful source, carrying only love, wisdom, and blessing. I call all of my own energy back to me from every person, place, conversation, timeline, expectation, and experience. I welcome it home, cleansed, restored, and whole. I release any energy that is not mine to carry. I am fully present in my own body, my own life, and my own path. The session is complete. The connection is closed. My energy is my own. I leave this space grounded, clear, peaceful, and restored. And so it is. As always, guys, remember to have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are on purpose.